So Kevin Durant is a Golden State Warrior. In my opinion, the second best player in the NBA behind LeBron James, who's near 7 feet tall, has the ability of a very good shooting guard with his ability to shoot, dribble, get to the rim. I mean, we all know how good Kevin Durant is. And he's going to the frickin' Golden State Warriors, who just won 73 games and made it all the way to Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So first things first, if you've lost respect for Kevin Durant or whatever for doing this, I can't stop you. Me personally, I don't really care about that. I mean, Durant, he was a free agent. He's allowed to go wherever he wants. That being said, me as a basketball fan, I mean, OKC versus Golden State was really fun, and I mean, the Western Conference has kind of become a one-team race, if we can be honest, because San Antonio couldn't score against Golden State last season, and the Thunder just lost Durant, as we all know, so kind of sucks from that aspect. But let's go into this Warriors team. So I think the scariest part about this is now Durant kind of seamlessly fits into what Golden State does. Like, the thing with the Warriors last season was it was the Steph Curry, Draymond Green pick and roll, and then, of course, you have to trap Steph because he's such a good shooter, and then that leaves Draymond open, and sometimes he could just hit the pick and pop three-pointer, or he could get inside. You have to bring help defense. Kicks it out to Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Andre Iguodala, lobs it up to Andrew Bogut or Festus Ezeli. I mean, we know why the Warriors won 73 games. But now you put Kevin Durant there. I mean, the options for Golden State are just stupid. I mean, this has potential to be by far the greatest offensive team in the history of the NBA, let alone greatest team ever. Because with Kevin Durant, he could be another wing on the perimeter for the pick and roll, which once again just allows him to get wide open because the Steph Curry, Draymond Green pick and roll is still a thing. But besides that, you could run Steph Curry and Kevin Durant pick and rolls now. I mean, they have to trap on Curry when it's Draymond being the screener. The hell are you going to do against Durant? You're going to switch? Now you got a point guard defending Kevin Durant, who's become one of the better post-up players in the NBA? It's ridiculous, man. And speaking of Kevin Durant's posting up, I think one of the weaknesses Golden State had this season, and we really saw it against Cleveland, is in the playoffs when they let you be a little more physical and the defense is allowed to beat up Steph and Klay when they're running around screens and everything. Sometimes it's better to have a guy who you can just dump the ball into the post or just give him an isolation and allow him to go to work. Well, Kevin Durant is the perfect guy, and then some for that, because, I mean, the dude's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So if we get a situation where Golden State is, perhaps a little cold, as they were in moments against OKC, as well as Cleveland in the finals, give the ball to Kevin Durant, man. And then he can go to work in isolations, but not only that, you can give the ball to Durant, and this opens up more opportunities for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to be running around screens at the same time. I mean, this is pretty damn ridiculous. And then you add in Draymond Green's ability to still pass. I think Steve Kerr does a very good job of X's and O's and getting Klay and Steph to run around screens. Well, now you could dump the ball into Draymond in the post, which Golden State likes to do to use his passing ability. You could have Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry running around a series of picks set by each other and someone else, whatever. Someone's going to get open. And when they do, what the hell are you going to do? And then not only that, you're going to have to bring help defense. I mean, who's the odd man out? Klay Thompson? You're going to leave Klay open because Durant and Curry are ridiculous from outside? It's insane, man. I don't know how anyone's going to be able to defend Golden State once they get it figured out. And I do think it's going to take a minute. Now, if we remember when LeBron James came to Miami, it took them about maybe 10 to 15 games to get it sorted. I think the same thing is going to happen here. But the difference is, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were two guys who were used to having the ball in their hand and driving towards the basket. This is 3 guys, really 4 guys if you want to count Draymond Green, who are all good from outside, very good passers, and they're unselfish. So, I mean, I still think it's going to take a minute to get there, but even if it's not a perfect fit, I don't know if it has to be with how much talent and outside shooting this team now has. And then if we want to talk about defense, Kevin Durant fits the mold of exactly what they want to do on defense. When Harrison Barnes was there, he was used as a guy who could switch on every single screen, which is what Golden State loves to do. Kevin Durant's a fantastic defender, and he's taller than Harrison Barnes. I think he's the tallest guy on the team now. Like, Kevin Durant is about as good of a fit as you can possibly imagine for this Golden State team, and it just so happens that he's one of the best players that we've seen in the last 20 years ever, if we can be honest. Now, I do think there's a little bit to be concerned about because no one's perfect. For one, Golden State doesn't have a big man on their roster right now. Draymond Green can play center, of course, but if you think Draymond's going to start at center for an entire season, I don't think he can do that. I mean, he doesn't have the shot blocking or the rebounding. I mean, we saw when OKC had Durant, we saw what they were able to do against Golden State when they had Enes Kanter and Steven Adams in the game. And funny enough, as I'm making this video, I just saw on Twitter that the Warriors signed Zaza Pachulia to play center. There you go, that's the type of guy they need. I still think they need one more, but I think he's going to help them on the boards immediately. That's the sort of dude that they needed, and they already got him, so now they just got a little bit more scarier, at least in my eyes. So, do I think the Cleveland Cavaliers have a chance of beating this Warriors team? I mean, given what LeBron James pulled off in these finals, I'm not going to pick against LeBron James until I see the guy lose, but this is some all-time stuff, man. I mean, the second best player in the NBA just joined a team that won 73 frickin' games. Like, this could end up being the greatest team in the history of sports, let alone basketball. So, and actually, I mentioned Steve Kerr a moment ago. I think another thing with Kerr is going to be interesting to see how he manages the rotation, because I felt in the playoffs at times Kerr did a poor job of just managing minutes. I mean, there were stretches in the OKC series where both Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were in the game, and Steph Curry was on the bench. That sort of thing can't happen, but now, given that you have 4 of the top 12 maybe players in the NBA, I think he's going to do a good job of managing because there's just so many freaking good players on this team. You got to imagine at least 2 of them are going to be on the floor at all times. I think sky's the limit. I don't think it's going to take too long for it to all come together. And part of me is disappointed because I love the competitive aspect of the NBA. Another part of me just wants to see what the hell is going to happen now.